Hi, I'm Susan Kimball. On Sunday, June 29th, the Maine Sunday Telegram will begin publishing something unusual, a continuous 29-part narrative series running in the Telegram and the Press-Herald and online every day. The work is a result of a year-long special project by Portland Press-Herald State and National Affairs writer Colin Woodard. It's a story of murder, injustice, conspiracy, and triumph. It's the story of Maine's Passamaquoddy people over the past half-century. Colin Woodard joins us now to talk a little bit about this series, and the first thing I want to know is what prompted you to write about this in the first place?
Well, initially, I received through sources and stuff a lot of information about current problems on the Passamaquoddy reservations with governance and rule of law, and some of them were really quite surprising, and I started looking at those things, but to understand why there was this absence of rule of law, I had to start digging further and further back. Well, what happened? When should there have been a rule of law? Who was responsible?
Right.
And that led me to be digging around in the Indian Land Claims Act of 1980, and then before that, and pretty soon I was 50 years ago in the mid-1960s in a world that I, as a native born and raised Mainer, didn't even recognize.
Well, I think that's the thing that's so fascinating about this, is that the sense of injustice and cruelty that you've uncovered and you write about, it's just not a pretty picture, and it's surprising to me even now that that happened in Maine.
Yeah, I think the Passamaquoddies remember all this, but I don't think that most Mainers do, even those of us who were alive during this era, that for the Passamaquoddy and perhaps other tribes, the situation was not at all unlike the situation for African Americans in the Deep South at the same time. I mean, where people weren't being served in restaurants, couldn't have their hair cut, couldn't vote in elections in violation of federal law, and were often killed, and nobody would bother even investigating. It's a jaw-dropping sort of story that makes you start understanding the subsequent events in a way that you couldn't otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Huge undertaking, fascinating story. It begins running on June 29th in the Maine Sunday Telegram and runs for 29 consecutive days. Thank you, Colin, for joining us.